Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. The video that I'm about to show you is something that came up on my feed today, which I found very ironic. Like, why was this popping up? Considering the fact that I made a video a few days ago about illegal immigrants being like signed up to vote, okay, in elections, like people registering them so like that they can vote. And it's funny that after I put that video up, I only got one negative comment from somebody saying that the information I put out was all lies. Meanwhile, I mean, you guys seen that it wasn't me putting it out. It was actually a news outlet that was putting out that information. But anyway, I was just doing some research today, and this popped up by Tim Pool. Okay, now supposedly he put this video out 2 weeks ago, and the title to the video is Missouri AG questions creepy voter data, fears illegal immigrants may vote in shadow campaign. Now, I had to look into this, okay, and go on to the website that Tim Pool is talking about, and I was shocked to see exactly what he was saying. And it makes you wonder, is everything with the voter registration on the up and up? And I know a lot of us believe that it's not, okay? But the left and the powers that be don't want you to believe that. They want you to think that there is no such thing as voter fraud. And there is plenty of voter fraud. And what's going to shock you is the information that Tim Pool puts out, and I went on my own to check it out. A lot of the states in question are blue states. Okay? It's pretty wild the way this just popped up on my feed. But before I continue this, so that we can check this out, two things real quick. First, I want to thank all my new subscribers and all my subscribers here on YouTube and on Rumble. So don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe. Hit the like button. Definitely hit the notification button, okay? So everybody can get notifications on the videos that are coming out. Don't forget to definitely give it a thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. And if you want to help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. And also, once again, I'm leaving the links to the Give, Send, Go and the GoFundMe campaigns for my friend Josie and for Loza Alexander in the description. And I'm also leaving a link to this in my description to this video, so you guys can go on to Tim Pool and check out his content if you never heard of him. Okay, I've been watching him for well over 2 years now, and I like his content. He's really good, really straight up. That's the first thing. The second thing I will show you as the video goes on, but it's very important about the video that I put out last night. Okay, if anybody knows, a lot of my content is about things that are happening to the children in society, okay? And something very interesting came up that I'm gonna show you, okay? And you guys tell me if I'm reading into this too much. But with that being said, let's get into this and see what he has to say. So everybody, please pay attention. This is very important when it comes to voting, the Social Security Administration, and the DMV. Here we go.
You're familiar with the Help America Vote verification story?
Yeah.
So this is, I've chosen February 17th, 2024 specifically as it is very large and terrifying numbers. Just some quick context for people to understand. Help.
Now, I know it looks small on the screen, but don't worry, because I went on the same page. I'm going to show you what he's talking about after he explains what's going on. Here we go.
America Vote verification is a system so that if someone is trying to register to vote, but they do not have an ID, the DMV, the MVA can submit the name, their birthday, and the last four of their social to the Social Security Administration to check to see if they are in the Social Security database. That way the person can be registered to vote. There have been a lot of concerns as many states, particularly important states for the election, like Arizona, are seeing tens of thousands of registration attempts every week, in some instances bi-weekly. In some instances, and the example that we have here from February 17th of this year, the state of Missouri had 78,421 verification requests, with 23,253 coming back as deceased. I believe the official statement was that this is voter roll cleanup. I don't know if you can shed some light on what's going on.
Yeah, that's a process the Secretary of State's office manages to help the county clerks clean up their voter rolls to make sure that the deceased or folks are purged from those rolls. And so that's an important part of the process. But when you see numbers like that, especially in swing states, like Missouri, bright red state, but Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin,
Texas is a lot.
Texas, yeah,
220,000.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. I mean, you think about the 10 million people who have crossed our border illegally and are here illegally, and it is illegal for them to participate in a national election. Certainly in Missouri, it's a felony offense. You have the forms you have to fill out if you're fraudulently holding yourself out as a legal resident. You're not. That's a felony forgery. And so, these other states need to look at those same laws and make sure that you're not only purging the deceased, but preventing hijacking of the election process by people who have no legal right to vote.
But is this confirmed, or I don't know if you don't know 100%, but this is Missouri doing voter roll cleanup?
I would need to confirm with our Secretary of State's office on the specific numbers, but I know that is an ongoing process that the Secretary of State manages.
It's super disturbing because it's like a third of the 70. It's the second most state of all of them. It's Texas, then Missouri, I think, is number 2, maybe.
Yeah, Texas. But this is, again, February 17th. It's one specific
and it's
week.
a third of them were deceased. It's not just like all the other states, you'd get like 72, New Jersey, 72 of them out of 2,800. So that's like 0.1%. 33% of them in Missouri. Like, what is going on that they're using Missouri? It looks like it's being used to funnel some sort of operation to get people on
this
board.
was registering.
Okay, now I'm going to pause it real quick and minimize this, and I'm going to show you the page that he's talking about. This is the page right here, the Social Security Administration SSA Weekly Data for Help America Vote Verification, HAVV, transactions by state, week ending July 27, 2024. Okay? So if you click on here, it'll show you whatever date. You go back as far as you want. Okay, it goes back years. And I checked something out in 2020, but we're not going to get into that right now. We're going to stick with the weeks on hand. So let's just say we choose. Let's go to June 1st, 2024. Okay, it's going to refresh. It's going to show you all the states. Okay, all the way down to the bottom. Okay, now, if you look at what he was saying, okay, like Nevada. In Nevada, 41 people, okay, put in a request to get their information in order for them to get a driver's license so they can register. Okay? To get your driver's license, you need your social security number. Okay? Now, mind you, this site that they're doing here, it's only for people that need their driver's license so that, like that, they can register to vote. Okay? So in Nevada, it was 41, but here, this line right here says total non-matches. So we're going to go back down to Nevada, okay? Where was I? Right here. 41 people signed up saying that, listen, I need my my driver's license so like that I can register to vote. Here's my information. Out of the 41, 33 came back as they don't match. The name with the social security number does not match. That's as simple as you can put it. Okay? In New York, 1,988 people submitted applications. Out of that, 710, no match. Name with social security number. No match at all. Okay? It goes on and on. Let's see. Michigan, out of 191, 69 no match. Look at Maryland. In Maryland, out of 2,618, okay, people that applied, 2,534 came back no match. The name does not match up with the social security number. What the hell is going on? In Kansas, 328 applied, 75 no match. Indiana, 7,300 applied, 595 no match. Chicago, Illinois, not Chicago, 9,000 applied, 1,300, over almost 1,400 came back no match. Idaho, 557 applied, 150 no match. Georgia, 6,400 applied, 2,100, almost 2,200 no match. In Florida, 982 applied, 282 didn't match. I mean, in California, 2,970 applied, over 1,100, it wasn't a match. Look at these numbers. Arizona, 29,000 applied, almost over 3,500 came back. It doesn't match. And this was in, June, right? So now we'll go to week ending of July 27th. Okay? Arizona. Let's go to Alabama. Out of 3,400 people, total transactions, okay, 845 no match. Alaska, 153 applied, 43 no match. Arizona, 46,000 applied, 2,000 no match. California, 10,900 applied, over 3,500 no match. Colorado, 4,000 applied, almost 1,500 no match. Connecticut, 172, 34 came back no match. Look at these numbers, the way they're coming back, that they do not match the data on hand. Maryland, again, out of 2,510 applied, 2,140 no match. This is incredible. Out of 81,000 people that applied in Missouri, over 5,500 came back. It doesn't match. In New Jersey, over 12,000, 3,000 came back, no match. North Carolina was half. From 6,600, 3,100 came back, no match. Ohio, out of 2,500, nearly all of them. In Ohio, out of 2,500 people, 2,567 people that applied, 1,960 came back. It wasn't a match. And people are saying, people are saying that, you know what, illegals or whoever are not trying to commit any kind of voter fraud. So you mean to tell me, we're just going to take Ohio, for instance, okay? You mean to tell me that out of 2,567 people in Ohio, 1,916 are American citizens that have bad paperwork? That their name does not match their social security number? We're going to listen to more of what Tim Pool has to say. Let me go back to this. Here we go.
Dead people. And so here's
let me
the
go
problem.
back a little bit in case you missed a bit.
One specific,
And it's
right.
a third of them were deceased. It's not just like all the other states, you'd get like 72, New Jersey, 72 of them out of 2,800. So that's like 0.1%. 33% of them in Missouri. Like, what is going on that they're using Missouri? It looks like it's being used to funnel some sort of operation to get people on
This
board.
was registering dead people. And so here's the problem. Texas denied everything, because when this story first broke, I think it was back in March, Texas only reports every other week 219,323 registration verification requests, 4,559 came back matched but deceased. 36,000 came back with no match. Okay, so hold on. We got ourselves here a big old problem. Let's operate under the assumption this is still voter roll cleanup. If Missouri is doing voter roll cleanup to the tune of, in 1 week, 78,421 people, how were there 5,938 of those people that did not have a match in the Social Security database? How were 23,000? So if we want to say this is voter roll cleanup, 23,000 deceased makes a lot of sense. It violates the rules of the Help America Vote Act, which states this is specifically for registering people to vote, not for, it offers no provision for using it for voter roll cleanup, but it still might be the case. Then how do you have 6,000 of the people not actually matching? That would mean that Missouri caught in 1 week 6,000 people on their voter rolls who aren't in the Social Security Administration database.
Exactly. And now here's the thing. Let me cut them off real quick and go back to that website, okay? Like I said, you can click on, this is week by week, okay? This is week by week that you go back and it shows you. So people will come out and say, now if you look at, I'm going back to the end of July, okay, July 27th. If you look at the bottom, the totals is 312,721 people applied. Out of that, 54,627 people came back not matching what their where they should have matched between their name, driver's license, I guess, and social security number. Okay? Now, some people may say, well, you know what? It's got to be a mistake. What mistake is it? Okay, and I found an interesting article that, let me see if I kept it. I don't really want to read into the article, but it was this one here. Viral claim inflates number of new voters in 3 states. And we'll go back to the video. Just bear with me, people. Okay, this one I have to bounce around on because, I mean, I was surprised. Once I punched in one thing, all these other things popped up. I'm just going to read a small portion. Okay, it says a claim on social media misrepresents the number of people who have registered to vote in 3 states in 2024 and suggests the new voters are immigrants in the country illegally. There have been 194,000 newly registered voters in those states, not 2 million, and there's no evidence they are immigrants in the U.S. illegally. Okay, now the 3 states they're talking about, okay, is Pennsylvania, Arizona, and Texas. Okay, it says about 194,000 new voters have registered since the beginning of 2024 in 3 states, Pennsylvania, Arizona, and Texas. That's in line with the number of new registrations at this point in 2020. Okay, it says it also falls short of the 2 million new voters claimed in social media posts that have been circulating recently, one of which was amplified by billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk. On X, the social media platform that he owns, Musk reposted a claim from a far-right account that said the number of voters registering without a photo ID is skyrocketing in 3 key swing states, Arizona, Texas, and Pennsylvania. Since the start of 2024, Texas over 1.2 million, Pennsylvania over 500,000, Arizona over 220,000. We'll leave that at that, okay? But now you go back, okay? Texas, this is the week of, okay, the 27th. Okay, let's go back down. Out of 47,732 people that applied, 14,326 came back. That's in a week. Pennsylvania, over 10%. Out of 40,000, over 4,700 came back without a match. Okay, going back to Arizona. Okay, out of 46,000, 2,000 came back. A little over 2,000 came back without a match. Only 17 people have showed up to be deceased. Okay, you go to Pennsylvania, same thing, 17 people. Texas, 0. I find that kind of strange. No registered voters in Texas have passed away, which is probably a good thing in the past week. I mean, you know, that's a good thing. But look at the numbers. Look at Rhode Island. Out of 3,040, and everybody knows that Rhode Island is blue. Connecticut, I mean, they say that these states are red. And let me tell you something, the liberalism, I mean, just runs rampant. Okay? In Rhode Island, out of 3,044 people that registered, okay, 152 came back. And if you look at that number, I'm like, if anybody knows Rhode Island, there are, and being born and raised in New York, there are crazy immigrants to go and illegal immigrants to go in and out of Rhode Island. Okay, and go further up. Pennsylvania, I think I mentioned this already. Okay, which is well over 10% of what they are. So what I find strange, and I'm gonna get right back to the video, people, okay, is something that Tim Pool didn't mention. Now, it might just be for the week, but Arkansas, zeros right across. I know there is a major influx of illegal immigrants in Arkansas, okay? Delaware, zeros straight across. District of Columbia, zeros straight across. Hawaii, very strange, 0 straight across. But then again, Hawaii might have an excuse because of what they've been dealing with, okay, since last year with the fires and all that, and people trying to get their lives back together, okay? Kentucky, zeros straight across. What was the other one? New Hampshire, 0 straight across. New Mexico, zeros straight across. North Dakota, South Carolina, Tennessee, West Virginia, Virginia. Now, I don't know why they're 0 straight across. Maybe they don't put the information in, okay, as all the other states do. But just looking at some of these states, you already know there's a big influx of illegal immigrants going in. I mean, it's all over the news. People talk about it. A lot of these states that I mentioned, there's a big influx of illegals going in. Okay, so one more that I wanted to check out that I found very strange. I think I mentioned it was Ohio, but I was looking at also Colorado because there's a big influx of illegals going in. You know that, to Colorado, and out of 4,070 people, almost 1,500 came back, no match at all. Think about that. But let's get back to the video. Here we go.
Stress, you don't get erased from that database. They do not reuse numbers. Going back down to Texas, 36,000 registrations did not have a match in the Social Security database. Sure, you can argue that some people's names, birthdays, and last four didn't match properly. There were typos, but this many?
That's a lot.
15%, 13% of the people.
That's a lot.
That's way too much.
That
and so
is
with all the illegal
lot.
immigration, it's like correlated with all this illegal immigration.
If we jump to the latest numbers, which is July 13th, I believe Missouri has 27,371 with 3,347 that did not have a match. 317 were dead.
Look at Nevada, that 36,000 of the 37,000 were not matched.
Whoa!
That's insane.
Now that's crazy. This is the latest.
Now we're going to go back to that, what he said about Nevada, because how in the world, I mean, that's, well, this is, well, I believe I said this is this week, right? Let me check just to make sure I don't overjump it here. But look at this in Nevada. This is from July 27th. Out of 1,864, 1,345 came back, no match. Now, I don't know what day Tim Pool is looking at this. This came out 2 weeks ago, so let's go back. I believe he said it was July 13th. That will be 3 weeks ago. Okay? There it is. Look at that in Nevada. Out of 37,181 in that week alone, 36,600 came back, no freaking match whatsoever. And who has been crossing over the border into what states? Arizona and Nevada. What? Illegals. Illegal immigrants. I tell you, people, I tell you, stay awake. Let's continue.
The last reported numbers from HAVV, 37,181 in Nevada. These are alleged registration attempts without ID, and 36,600 did not match the SSA database.
Look at that.
In a swing state.
In a swing state.
Border state.
And,
So-
and just what he said, and a border state. And this is something that I put out months ago, especially when the whole thing, election was going on for governor of Arizona. I said it from the beginning, that the reason why that red wave that back in 2022 that they said that the Republicans didn't get, that they, were inflating, there was a red wave. And it wasn't just a red wave, it was a tsunami. But they needed, the Democrats needed key states in order to keep the influx of immigrants coming in. Okay? They knew there was no way they were going to get Texas. Not with Greg Abbott. Stay with me, people. So what they needed to do was, they needed to either take Nevada or Arizona. Okay? And the reason being is because if the Republicans had taken, they already had Texas sewed up with Greg Abbott. If they would have taken Arizona, the border, not only would it have been shut down, but everybody that got through would have been stopped in Arizona. Big time would have been stopped. So for every 10 illegals that got through, maybe 1 or 2 would have made it fully into the rest of the states. The other 8 or 9 would have been shut down because you would have had somebody in Arizona, we all know who that is, okay? It's not Hobbs, but somebody in Arizona backing up Greg Abbott. So whoever would have got through Texas, she would have stopped them in Arizona. So it's funny that Since Texas has done their part so far, now you have more illegals coming in, cutting through California, going through Nevada. Look at the numbers. The way the way that they're basically exploding with people trying to register, okay, in order to get a driver's license to register to vote. It's in the thousands, tens of thousands. This is a week by week roll. Tim Cass said that in some states it's every 2 weeks, but this is a week by week data roll. Like I said, if you go on the website yourself, it's on the Social Security Administration website. I mean, you look at this and these numbers just go on and on and on, week after week or every 2 weeks for certain states. There's no way you're going to tell me, okay, that there is no voter fraud and that this is not the workings of the Democrat Party, or the powers that be. But let's continue.
Here's my concern, and this could impact Missouri. It's bright red, so
Yeah.
I would, it is weird to be like, well, what could possibly go, Texas, however, is not, and Texas could swing, but the fear now is that in 2021, Joe Biden signed an executive order that allowed the federal government to register people in states on behalf of that state without the state knowing. West Virginia came out and said, absolutely not.
Look
We
at that.
reject all of these registrations. But what if what we're seeing is unknown to these states like Missouri, because these registrations that are being sent to the SSA are coming from federal authorities and the state has nothing to do with it. These people then show up, get printed, that they appear in these databases because the federal government sends in the paperwork, and then you end up with non-citizens. Or one theory is that what's happening is someone is illicitly downloading college and university databases and then trying to register college students who are not registered without them knowing, so that a universal mail-in vote will appear at their home, and then they could get an activist to go make them fill it out.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, people, and I know for a fact that there is voter registration fraud. There is voter fraud. Okay, another thing, I don't know if I ever mentioned it. I think I did once months ago about what happened to me years ago when I went to Florida. I went to Pensacola, Florida. Okay, and I was there, maybe a year and a half. Okay, and this was right after me going to a gun show. Okay, with me and my roommate at the time. We both went. She went to go get her concealed carry permit, and while she was there, she filled all the paperwork out. But she was still able to get to buy a rifle. She bought a .22 rifle. Okay, and when we left the gun show, okay, in the it's not a housing complex, in the community that we lived in, okay, we pull up. Now there's only one way in, one way out. That's it. That's the way it's built, very private. I noticed that when we pulled in front of the house, there was a black Mustang, basically right behind us, but with all the windows are tinted. And I'm like, what the hell is that? So we had a carport. I pulled underneath the carport. I got out. I told her to stay in the truck. I got out. I went over to her side, opened the door, and I'm watching this guy. Well, I shouldn't say guy because I didn't know exactly who it was, but I'm watching the car. I tell her to get out. I grabbed the rifle. I said, go open the door. So she goes inside. She goes, what's going on? I said, I think somebody's following us from the gun show. Because you never know. Somebody, they see you buy a gun, they want to follow you, try to kill you, take what you got. So she goes inside. When I turn again, the car pulls off. I go inside, lock the door. You know what I mean? I go inside. I'm not going to lie. I go inside. I lock and load my shit. And I'm like, listen, man, if anybody, tries to, come on the property, you're going to have to get on the phone. Before I can finish that sentence, there's a knock at the door. I go to ask who it is. It's the sheriff's department. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I open up the door. It was the sheriff's department. He asked me my name. Is this your name? I say, yes. He goes, can you please step out? I'm like, what's going on? He was like, let me see your hands. Another cop is coming there screaming, let me see your hands, let me see your hands. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I'm like, all right, bet, no problem. I'm not about to flinch and make a move because I don't know what the hell's going on. Long story short, they handcuff me, they grab my roommate, they handcuff her. They're there with a person from I think it was DHS or Border Patrol, I think it was. And I'm looking at the deputies, and I'm looking at this dude, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? So they keep asking me my name, and I'm like, you're repeating it. That is my name. You know, my ID's in my wallet. So they handcuffed me, put me inside the paddy wagon. They grab my wallet, and I hear one of the deputies. I hear the guy, whoever he was, I didn't know who he was at the moment, come out and say, "We got him, we got him." And now I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, who the hell do you got? Because I know whoever it is you're looking for, it sure as shit ain't me, you know. So then I hear one of the deputies, and he was like, "This can't be him." And he was like, "What are you talking about? It's him." And he goes, "It can't be him. Hold on." So he opens up the door. He looks at me. He goes, "Mr. Cruz." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "When did you get this?" And he basically showed me that was in my wallet my concealed carry permit. And I was like, "Well, look at the date. It'll show you when I got it and when it expires." So he shakes his head. He goes, "Hold on." He closes the door. He goes, "This is not the guy." The other guy's at him. He goes, "Yes, it is." He goes, "It's not. There's no way he can obtain this if it's him." So he opens the door, takes me out, takes off the handcuffs. "We're so sorry." And I'm like, now I'm pissed. Now I'm like, what the hell is going on? This is what happened. Some illegal immigrant, okay, that crossed the border has stolen my identity, okay? They caught him. They slingshot his ass back over the border. He came back again. They did it a second time. The third time, he got away. Still using my information, my first and last name, my ID, okay? How he stole my shit, I have no idea. How they got information, I have no idea. But here's the thing. The guy was wanted for kidnapping, arson, and I believe, what he said, attempted something. Okay? So now I start asking questions. I'm like, and this came from whoever that was doing their job for the border. I asked them specifically, I said, well, if you're looking for him, how do you say that it's me? Don't you have a mugshot? And you know what he told me? Point the fuck blank. He said, we're not allowed to take their pictures. So now you got illegals coming in. They're not taking no photos of them. They're stealing people's identities, okay? Committing crimes. And then you have law enforcement knocking on American citizens' doors. And this is a warning that I'm going to give to everybody, and I've been trying to say it for the longest. I haven't said it in a while, but I'm going to start repeating it again. When these illegal immigrants coming from South America and to the Latino community, for all of you that say, let them in, let them in, let them in, they are stealing your identity. The Rodriguez names, the Santiago names, the Cruz names, whatever Latin last name, they are stealing those IDs. They're not stealing a fucking John O'Malley if you're coming in from Mexico. They're not stealing a John Smith, okay, or anything like that. They are stealing Latin identities. Remember that, okay? So the next time the cops come knocking on the door saying that you fit this description, which is like 90% of the Latino community, which is dark skin, brown skin, black hair, brown eyes, 5'7", between 5'7" and 6 foot, tattoos, Latin last name, what kind of shit you think they're going to give you? Think about that. Okay? So when you look at all these states that Tim Pool is talking about, where a lot of these illegal immigrants coming through, Nevada, and they're going into different states, where is what? Run blue. Run by the leftists. Let's continue.
It's scary stuff. I mean, look, we know that in 2020, several of the blue states changed the rules of the game in the 11th hour in order to harvest more ballots, and that swung the election. I mean, you look at that juxtaposed with the deep state, suppressing the Hunter Biden laptop story. I mean, those things, you put those two things together, and you can see why people, the integrity, like self-evident integrity of the process has been lost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's one of the big issues. Voters this year are primed to be concerned about what's going on. And while that's good, it also encourages low trust because you never seem to get the answers that you're looking for. No matter, try how you might, right? We don't know why the numbers are this way. There's not even a clear path to get answers.
Yeah, I guess.
And I'll leave it at that. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the description so you guys can go and watch the rest. And just quickly before I finish the video, okay, I hope you guys listen to all that and understand. I went here And just, I wanted to check it out. I went all the way back to 2020. I mean, this thing goes back week after week after week. Okay? So I went back to November. Okay? Where am I? November 7th of 2020. Okay? Look at these numbers. In California, 72,000 people, 829 that put in paperwork, 36,000 came back, no match. Arizona was a third of that. Okay? I mean, in Kansas, out of 38,000, 10,000, no match. In Illinois, out of 13,000, 2,000, no match. I mean, look at the numbers of no match in November of 2020. This line where I'm putting the green cursor, look at that. Out of 207,377, 67,283 came back, no match in that week alone. You fucking tell me, okay, that 2020 was on the up and up. Forget about it being on the up and up for now. Here we are in July. This is of this year, as of July 27th of 2024. Out of 312,721 let's say applications, 54,627 came back, no match. Okay? People, I tell you, it's funny how people put this kind of, they want these kinds of programs put out, okay, and yet it basically comes back to bite people in the ass, the naysayers that say there's no such thing as fraud. This is by the Social Security Administration. This is not a poll put out on X or somebody in a basement putting this together. This is what? This is a government, what? Entity. Okay? These are the numbers. The numbers don't lie. I mean, this is incredible, people. This is incredible. I mean, go on Social Security Administration. When you go, let me see how I went back on. I just punched in to get on, and it took me, basically it took me to the very first page, and then I clicked on this HAVV, and it just wind up going here, and you just go, you got to go into, you got to pick a week, okay, just whatever, punch whatever in, and then when it reloads, it just shows you all the info. And people, this is, don't let anybody fool you. This is week by week. These are not totals. Like, well, that's the total for the whole year. No, this is week by week. Okay, supposedly that's what they're saying. Week ending June 2022. Week ending June 22nd, 2024. This goes week by week. So even if we, just to make sure, okay, before I end the video, let's just take Alabama. The first number is 3765. This is for June 22nd. We'll go to June 29th. In Alabama, it's 4981. Okay, so the numbers change, which means the numbers either go up or down. But these are the amounts of people that tried to register. These are the amounts that do not add up. And look at this in Arizona. 55,000 over 10,400, no match. Look at Georgia. Out of 5,600, over 2,000, no match. Where are the illegals going? They're going to Arizona, they're going to Georgia, Pennsylvania, New York, New Hampshire, Colorado, Chicago, Illinois. That's where they're going. California. Look at the numbers, people. Look at the numbers. And you tell me that they're not trying to get illegals to register so like that when the election comes, this is the only way the Democrats are going to try to win, which is the way they always try to, and that's by fucking cheating. So that's what I got for you. But one more thing before I end the video, and just quickly, the video that I put out last night, and this is why I get very upset, okay? I'm going to refresh it. And this is why I get upset, especially when it comes to children. There was only 77 views on that video, okay? I'm not mad at the people that didn't, that didn't view the video. This is why I get upset. And I don't want to start pointing fingers or whatever the case is, but I find it ironic that a lot of the videos that I put out, especially when it comes to what's going on with the children, it doesn't get pushed out. It was only pushed out since yesterday 358 times. Shows it right here. Okay? I only got 77 views out of it, but it was only pushed out 358 times. Just thought I'd let you people know that. Like I said, go back to that video, check it out, pass it around. I mean, I hope people are seeing a pattern here. Okay? The pattern of suppression, the pattern of censorship. Okay? The pattern of cheating. I mean, you guys are smart. Okay? You guys are smart and you know exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around, give it a thumbs up. If you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. And I'm also leaving links in the description to help out my friend Josie and Loza in any which way you can. So remember, people, stay vigilant, keep praying for each other, keep praying for the women and the children, keep praying for this country, your enemies, and keep praying for Donald Trump. Peace.